A 27-year-old can earn roughly the U.S. median for full-time workers aged 25 to 34, about $1,140 a week, and still be one car repair away from panic. In 2025, only 45% of Americans age 18 to 29 said they could cover a $400 emergency with cash or its equivalent. So let me ask you something uncomfortable. Are you building a life or just renting one from your next paycheck? And no, the 90% in this title is not a government statistic. It's a brutal description of how common this pattern feels in real life. This case study represents real financial patterns and real-world data. Meet Alex, 27, full-time job, decent pay, clean sneakers, cracked phone screen, and finances that look way better from far away. That's why his problem is dangerous, because it doesn't look like a disaster. It looks like normal. He is not some reckless crypto cowboy setting fire to money for entertainment. He is average, and average is exactly where the trap hides. If you annualize that median weekly pay, Alex makes about $59,000 before tax, estimated from current BLS wage data. His rent and utilities run around $450 a month, estimated from recent national renter cost data, and then come the car payment, insurance, student loans, phone bill, and subscriptions. On paper, he can handle it. In real life, every bill arrives like it has his location. His budget is not a budget, it's a prayer with autopay. And his favorite lie is the one millions repeat: I'll start saving when I make more. That sentence has quietly wrecked more financial lives than any latte ever could, because when income rises without a system, spending usually rises first. BLS data show housing took 33.4% of average consumer spending in 2024, the biggest major category by far. And in 2023, nearly half of renter households in the US were cost-burdened, meaning they spent more than 30% of income on housing. Translation: a lot of people are not terrible at money. They are living with zero margin. But Alex doesn't see it that way. He thinks the problem is cute and fixable. Coffee, takeout, a few dumb delivery fees, maybe one too many Friday nights. Wrong. The real mistake is bigger and quieter. He built fixed monthly obligations before he built cash reserves. Adult-looking life first, financial shock absorber later. Which feels fine, right up until life remembers your address. And then 2026 walks in wearing inflation and interest rates like steel boots. In May 2026, the CPI was up 4.2% over 12 months. And the average interest rate on all credit card accounts in the latest Fed series available was 21.160%. 21% is not a convenience fee. It is a tax on being unprepared. If Alex carries a $6,000 balance at that rate, the first month's interest is roughly $106, estimated, before he even really dents the debt. Now zoom out. U.S. credit card balances stood around $1.252 trillion in the first quarter of 2026. Student loan balances were about $1.658 trillion, and 10.3% of those balances were already 90 days delinquent or more. This is the part nobody puts on the vision board. Alex has student debt too, not a movie villain amount, just the kind of normal debt that slowly changes your decisions. Among borrowers with outstanding education debt in 2024, the median balance was between $20,000 and $24,999. So now we have the perfect storm. Normal rent, normal debt, normal paycheck, normal anxiety. Then the plot twist arrives. A car repair for about $1,100, and a lease renewal that bumps rent by another $120 a month. Not a catastrophe. Not a recession. Just two painfully ordinary punches. And ordinary punches are exactly what knock people out when they have no buffer. He can't pay cash, so the repair goes on the card. He tells himself it's temporary, which is what people always say right before temporary gets a permanent address. Now his balance is closer to $7,500, his minimum payment grows, and his freedom quietly shrinks. This is why the first mistake was not the swipe. The first mistake was confusing available credit with available money. That night, Alex finally does the math. And when he sees that only 37% of adults age 18 to 29 had 3 months of emergency savings in 2025, he stops treating his stress like a personal defect. He realizes the pattern is common, quiet, and socially invisible. So he makes one unsexy decision: stop performing stability and start building it. First, he sets a starter emergency fund target of $1,500, Not perfect, just enough to stop every surprise from becoming debt. Second, he attacks fixed costs, because fixed costs are where small paychecks go to die. He gets a roommate and cuts housing by about $280 a month, estimated. Then he sells the car he can't really afford and shifts to a cheaper commute, improving monthly cash flow by roughly $400 after insurance and transit changes, estimated. It hurts his ego more than his calendar. Good. Ego is expensive. He keeps any employer retirement match if available, but beyond that, extra cash goes to the 21% debt first. Because no sane investment plan promises you a clean 21% boost, but killing 21% debt removes a brutal guaranteed cost. He also bans one magic phrase from his life: I deserve it. You probably do deserve nice things. You just don't deserve compounding interest attached to them. Over the next 12 months, realistically, not movie style, he uses lower fixed costs to build cash and crush balances. By the end of the year, he has a small emergency fund, no new credit card debt, and the old balance cut to around $2,000, estimated, not millionaire status, not beach house energy, just breathing room. And breathing room is the first real luxury most people ever buy. His sleep improves before his net worth does. That's how real financial recovery works. Boring month, boring transfer, boring dinner, boring calendar. Then one day, boring becomes powerful. When the next surprise bill arrives, he pays it from cash, not panic. That is the transformation. Not broke to billionaire, but fragile to stable. So what should you steal from Alex's story? If housing is eating more than about 30% of your income, you are playing the game on hard mode. If you carry credit card debt near 20% interest, your money is basically working overtime for the bank's summer vacation. If you have no emergency fund, every inconvenience becomes a financial emergency. And the biggest pre-30 money mistake is usually not low income. It is locking in a lifestyle your cash flow cannot defend. That mistake feels adult right up until life tests it. So here is the question I want stuck in your head tonight. If your income disappeared for 30 days, which bill would scare you first? Because that bill is not just a bill. It is the X-ray of your financial life. And if this story made you uncomfortable, good. Discomfort is often the receipt for reality. So I'll leave you with one last question. What fixed cost in your life is pretending to be normal while quietly owning you?